Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne. This is my video coaching newsletter, and the topic of today's newsletter is going to be I read my girlfriend's diary and don't like what I found. What now? Well, this is pretty interesting. So, this guy he's been with his girlfriend for 4 years. He's 26, she's 22. So, looks like he met her right after she graduated high school, and they've pretty much been together ever since. But he realizes so I guess he saw her diary. I guess they lived together as well. He thought, well, I'll just go and look through this. And he basically found that she was kind of fantasizing about another guy, and she was talking about how she doesn't feel the same way she did about him. And he realized that he'd gotten complacent and lazy in the relationship because it's 4 years they're living together. This is what happens when you're with somebody for a long time. And so one of the things that jumped out at him was that he'd been slacking off. But obviously he didn't like the fact of her talking about some other guys in glowing terms. And so now he's a little jealous of these guys that she wrote about. And he's concerned because he recognizes his girlfriend doesn't have the same level of respect and attraction that she once did. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi, Corey. I'm 26, and I've been with my girlfriend, who's 22, for almost 4 years. A few months ago, I made a mistake. I read parts of her journal. It was lying around, and I gave in to curiosity." I mean, who wouldn't? If it's just laying around, you're like, you live with her, you think you know her and everything about her, but sometimes you might not like what you find. He says, "What I read hit me hard. She wrote about 3 months ago that she fantasized about sleeping with other men and women and felt like she was stagnating in life. Remember, it doesn't matter what a good guy you are, how handsome you are, how much money you have. Women care about how they feel about you. And if you're no longer paying attention to them and dating and courting them like you used to, they're going to feel like you don't care. And women want to be in a love story. Women know that if you care, you'll continually court and make the effort. And if you don't, you stop. One of the biggest complaints that women have about men is that the guys are romantic at first, and then after they've been together for a while, they just stop being romantic. They stop dating, they stop courting, they stop writing sweet notes. They stop doing the little things because in the guy's mind, he's like, hey, the courtship's over. I want her. She's mine. We live together. We're married. We have kids, whatever. And you just can't do that. Because if you don't date and court your girlfriend or your wife, eventually some other guy will do it for you. And based upon the level of character, or lack thereof, of your girl, will determine how nice or how nasty she is about dissolving the relationship. She also mentioned a guy from her past, let's call him Bob, that she once had feelings for. So she's ruminating over feelings. She doesn't have the same feelings she used to have for her boyfriend because he's not behaving the same way. So she wants to feel that way again. Remember, the most important thing is how a woman feels about you. And she doesn't feel the same, so she starts thinking about guys who used to make her feel this way. He recently reappeared in her friend group, and that brought back some emotions. She wondered what could have been and said she wanted to meet him again, but also wrote that she'd talk to me first. So it would be interesting if, say, he never had read this, and then she would have approached, oh, I met this old friend. He asked me to lunch. Are you okay with that? It would be interesting how she would have approached that and what she would have said. Because women tend to say, because in their mind, they're living in the moment. He's just a friend until his dick ends up inside of her. Then it just kind of happened. I couldn't say no. The excuses happened later. But she put herself in the position where he could potentially seduce her because she was fantasizing about it. He says later entries showed she still believes I'm the right guy, but felt like I wasn't open to new experiences or adventure at the time. So the relationship became dull and boring. And this is pretty much what happens to every long-term relationship. But guys, again, there's a book, I think it was, what the fuck was the name of it? I can't. There was a woman author. It's a very famous book. It still just sells a shit ton of copies. It's not Why Men Love Bitches or something. Maybe it is. But one of the big things in the beginning of the book is all women have the same complaint. Why are guys romantic at first and then they stop? They like the love story. They like being courted. And when the guy stops, they think, what's wrong? Does he not care anymore? This is the effect that it has on how she feels about you. Since then, things have shifted. She's still loving, sweet, and close. We've talked more, and I've realized I do want to live more, travel, and lead again. I had become passive. I stopped planning. Sex got predictable. And we've been living together for a year now. I get how that might have dulled the spark. Yeah, he's just phoning it in. He's not really making the effort anymore. And now he sees the net effect of how it makes her feel. A ratchet chick with low character will act upon these feelings because she wants to feel wanted, desired, loved, appreciated, whatever it happens to be. And she'll go monkey branch and line up a guy behind your back. And then you find out she's cheating on you, or she just ups and leaves you, says she doesn't feel it anymore. And then a week later, she's with the new guy. A woman with high character is going to think about this, is going to ruminate about this. And if they get to the point where they're just not feeling it, then they'll leave. And they'll take some time to be single, and then they'll start dating again. He says, now I'm changing, but I keep looping on those fantasies. My questions, how do I stop obsessing? Well, remember, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. You stopped dating and courting your girlfriend. And you obviously probably didn't make her feel heard and understood. She probably told you about things she wanted to do or would like to do, and you were dismissive, you didn't feel like it, you didn't want to spend the money, whatever it happens to be. And so over time, she just starts to feel like her ideas don't really matter, and you don't care. Because if you cared, you would listen and you'd do something about it. So what you should be doing is, because any long-term relationship where a guy's having problems that I've done over the last 20 years, they all do the same two things. They stop dating and courting her, and they don't make her feel heard and understood anymore. And so you have to get, those two things must be done in order for the relationship to last. And that's assuming you got a good quality woman who communicates, who's nice to you, who's easygoing, easy to get along with, loves her dad, respects her father, that kind of thing. So in order to stop obsessing, because right now it doesn't seem like you've really done much to change. So you got to get back to dating and courting her. Do more things like she wanted, like some adventure. And maybe some of the things she suggested to you or told you, oh, wow, that seems interesting. Oh, I'd like to travel there. Or, hey, it'd be kind of cool to go to a bed and breakfast. Or it'd be fun to go to this restaurant or whatever. Just surprise her with those things in your future dates. That'll show you're listening, and that'll show you that you care because you're actually doing something about it. You guys are young. You don't have any kids. You should be at least having one date night per week where you go to dinner, you go out and do something fun together. It can't just become the same dull, boring routine every single week and nothing changes. So if you start doing that, and because again, the other thing is there's a chapter in my book, it's all in the numbers. So if you pay attention to that, you can tell where your woman is at. In other words, on a scale of 1 to 10, how she feels towards you. Obviously, 9 to 10 is she's in love with you. So you got some work to do because she's kind of fallen out of love, and it will take time by dating and courting her properly or making her feel heard and understood to get her to open back up and get her back to the place where she does all the things where a woman who has an interest of 9 to 10 does. So you can honestly assess where you're at and what she's doing and seek to raise it from there. And over the coming weeks, as you see your interest starting to go back up because you're doing the things from the book again, that'll make you feel better because success is making progress. And so you'll be able to see the progress of her interest for you growing, her desire for you growing again. She'll want to spend more time with you. She'll be more affectionate. She'll be more interested in sex. She'll come on to you more. She'll compliment you more. Again, she'll do all the things right out of the attraction table from the beginning of the chapter. It's all in the numbers. And it's not an actual like flow chart. It's just, it says from 9 to 10, she does this. From 8 to 9, she does this. From 7 to 8, she does this. And so based on her actions, it's pretty easy to tell where she is and how she feels towards you. How do I rebuild polarity and mystery? Well, I mean, you said it. And I'll go back to reading. It says, I had become passive. I stopped planning. Sex got predictable. And we've been living together for a year. So the way to rebuild the polarity is start being the leader again. Start planning dates. Maybe you take her away for the weekend. Maybe you make plans and you say, and you don't tell her where you're going to take her. Let it be a surprise. Again, these things are all laid out in the book. Women love mystery. They love not knowing. They love you taking the initiative and making plans, whether it's dinner reservations or booking a hotel or a trip or a bed and breakfast or just a little, maybe a staycation in your city. Just go stay at a cool resort or something in your city just for the day or the evening, just to change things up. Doesn't have to be super expensive. So when you start leading again, because if you're passive, when you become passive and lazy, then that forces the woman to kind of make up for your lack of masculinity by being the one planning things and suggesting things. And then what happens is she starts to resent it after a while because you basically made her the man in the relationship, and she doesn't want to be the man in the relationship. Should I bring up the Bob part if she doesn't? No. Because then she'll know you're going through her diary. Remember, you're James Bond, operational security. So it's much better if she thinks that you trust her implicitly. So, I mean, overall, I would look at this as a good thing you kind of went through it. Because now you can understand her deepest thoughts and how she really feels about you without her worrying about holding back and hurting your feelings. So at the end of the day, if you start doing the things in the book, you start dating and courting her properly, you start being more attentive, making her feel heard and understood, she's going to really feel like you care the same way you did in the beginning. And as her interest goes up, she'll focus more on you, and she'll think less and less about Bob. And what you'll notice if you go through her diary in a couple months, she'll be talking about how much better she feels about you and your relationship, and how you've turned things around, and she won't be thinking about Bob because she'll be so focused on you. In a relationship, when you're experiencing pain, it's typically because you're focusing on yourself. So he says, thanks for all your work. It's helped me a lot. So again, this is what I see over and over and over and over and over again. 20 years I've been doing this. Thousands and thousands of phone sessions. Every guy does the same fucking thing. They stop dating and courting the girl, and they don't make her feel heard and understood. And if you start doing those things again, and you start being the leader, that's masculine energy. And the more you get into your masculine energy, and you lead, and you plan dates, and you make things happen, you're the leader in the household, she'll relax, she'll move back into her feminine energy, she'll become more playful, more girly, she'll wear sexier clothing, she'll dress up for you more. You'll just notice it, because she'll feel beautiful inside, because you've lit her up and you made her feel beautiful. And so therefore she'll physically become more beautiful, sexier, making sure she's always got her makeup on and looking hot for you and desirable. Because what you notice in long-term relationships where you get a dead bedroom or whatever, what typically happens? They both gain weight. The woman butches her hair, cuts it all off basically, and has like a boy's haircut. She doesn't wear any makeup. She gets overweight. And then both of them wear the same clothes. And the woman walks in front, and she's kind of bitchy and angry and unhappy, and she doesn't look very attractive. When a woman feels loved and desirable and beautiful and attractive, and she's getting her brains fucked out, she radiates more of this beauty. She goes to the gym more. She takes better care of herself. She makes sure she goes and lays out in the sun, gets some vitamin D and a little bit of a tan. Because she feels beautiful on the inside, so she'll radiate that on the outside. And as she radiates out on the outside, guess what? You'll become more attracted to her because she's more in her feminine and she looks hotter. She looks more desirable. She'll maybe even lose, if she gained a couple pounds, she'll lose the extra weight. Just because she feels beautiful, she'll want to look hot for you. And so that's what you'll see happen is if you do these things that are in the book and you get back to the basics, you'll notice over the coming weeks, she won't be fantasizing about these other dudes. She'll be fantasizing about things she can do with you or to you, or that she'd like for you to do to her. This is a really simple thing to fix. So if you start taking action, again, like I said earlier, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. And again, don't ever bring up this stuff about Bob unless she brings it up, but because you don't want her to know that you're going through the diary, because quite frankly, you got good intel out of it. And this can really help you. It'd be a different thing if you went in there and she's fucking Bob and 5 other dudes, then you'd be like, holy shit, I don't even know this girl. But so far, everything looks good. You just got to turn it around, dude. And this, like I said, this is an easy point in the relationship where things are kind of off, where it's very easy to turn it around. In a matter of weeks, you can turn it around, get her back head over heels in love with you, obsessing over you, and then she'll start doing things for you, cooking dinner for you more, buying you things, writing you sweet notes, telling you how much she loves you and all the things that she loves about you. So get it together, dude. So if you got a question or challenge and you want to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. If you haven't already signed up for our exclusive premium members only content, in the video description of this video, there are links to join on YouTube, or you can join on Spotify, or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Just click the plans tab when you get to the website, and the good news is with our website, if you join to consume the content there, you can do a 7-day free trial and check out what content you get for your money. And if you choose an annual plan, you get a 25% discount at the end of the 7-day free trial. And remember, if you got some short questions, we do live streams on YouTube on Thursdays and Fridays. Just go to the homepage of my YouTube channel at Coach Corey Wayne and click the live tab, and then just scroll down to whatever day you plan on tuning in. You can click the button to have it notify you, or just tune in. Thursdays is from 2 to 4. Fridays from 1 to 3. That's Eastern Standard Time Zone. Same time zone as Miami and New York. It's me, Chunky, and obviously all the girls, and we'll answer whatever questions you guys got regarding the books or any current events or things that are going on. So until next time, I will talk to you soon.